Hey, this is Mike LaRosa, head coach at Widener University, here with Figure It Out Baseball, and going to be talking about some specifics with regards to what makes a good practice. The biggest thing for me is that there's preparation that goes into it. Otherwise, trying to figure things out on the fly creates a lot of guys standing around and a lot of downtime. I believe you want to be really, really efficient with the time that you have, so we keep guys moving and working to get better as we constantly work, go through practice. For instance, a lot of times you'll see during batting practice, you've got one guy hitting and everybody else is standing in the outfield shagging flies and really not getting any better. But that's really a great opportunity that you can phase other things in. For instance, during batting practice, if we've got one guy hitting, we'll have a base running group that's working live reads. We'll have infielders and outfielders that are working live off the bat. Sometimes we can even phase in live throws, base runners with it that are attached to the play also. And there can be variability and certainly can be as creative as you want with that. A lot of times at our level too, we'll find pitchers are in deep shag. They're out there standing on the warning track. I don't like to do that either. Sometimes we need them out there because, we might be going live, so balls over the outfielder's head on ones that aren't live, they're gonna get, but we might put 6 pitchers out there and they're in a rotation, so they're doing something else. Even catchers catching bullpens. Sometimes catchers just sit back there all day and catch pens. Well, if we've got 4 catchers, we got 2 catching pens, we got 2 others working with a coach on defensive drill work, and then they'll flip-flop. So guys really aren't getting too much downtime. Obviously, it depends on, I know the challenge a lot of times is you don't have a lot of coaches. You might be the only one, or you might have one assistant. Well, that's where if you can try and delegate as much as possible and give the kids drills to be doing that they can do on their own time, and station work is really, really appropriate for that. So say you've got hitting stations, you've got 2 batting cages, you've got 1 coach, and you've got all your hitters over there. Well, I would walk through, teach each station to them, and then that way guys know, you're doing your T stuff here, you're doing your heavy bat stuff here, whatever it is, and then when they get to your station, now you have the opportunity to kind of work one-on-one or small group type setting with them, while the other guys are still getting work in that you've already told them what that drill should look like. And that's why station work can be really effective, because it avoids guys standing around not getting better, and you can kind of help them find time to work on their own if you can kind of set that up on the front end with them. If you don't have access to cages and you might just have a field and kind of have some limited resources, there's still things that you can do to create opportunities for guys to be working and getting better. We have tees set up and we've got our outfielders hitting off tees, and that way they're hitting ground balls to our infielders. So now we got outfielders and infielders working together. If we're doing bunting, we've had 4 bunting stations where there's one at the plate, one at first base, second base, third base. Each station is working on something different. One's working on sack bunts, one's working on drags down third, one's working on pushes down first. And we got kids throwing to each other, so they're all going in different directions. Balls aren't converging on each other. And that way we got a lot of bunting happening at one that you can rotate guys around. If you're hitting, you don't have cages, you don't have a turtle shell, you don't have a cage, you can have guys hit into fences. You could still break up station work around the field. One station could be guys working flips off of heavy balls. We use heavy balls. If you don't have heavy balls and you got old soccer balls, old basketballs, you can hit those. Guys can really work on, staying through the ball when they work with heavy ball stuff. So you could have, a station set up in left field with that. You could have a station set up in right field of guys just doing regular flips and they're hitting the ball out towards center field. Then you could have a station at the plate that's regular BP, and you've got guys with gloves kind of protecting the other stations. You could even have, if you're just hitting, say, BP at the plate, you could have infielders getting live reads off the bat, and you could have outfielders working with a coach in the outfield, maybe deep in center field where they're not going to be hit, that they're able to get some instructional work with a coach, and then you can kind of flip where now outfielders are going to be live and infielders are getting instructional work, maybe if you've got space off to the side. Again, you can always incorporate base running into that. Reading balls off the bat, there's really no way to simulate that in a practice setting other than during batting practice. If you teach guys freeze on a line or get back on a line drive, the best way to do it is live reads off the bat during batting practice. There's ways to kind of integrate everything, and this is what we'll do. We'll have 4 guys hitting. We got a guy hitting, guy that comes out of the cage, might be working bunting off to the side with another coach, or if it's not bunting, he's going right into tracking. So he's standing behind the plate and he's tracking, he's calling quadrants for the pitch and where they are as soon as he can identify them out of a pitcher's hand. Then we got a guy on deck working his on-deck routine, So he might be in the hole, and then we got a guy on deck working timing, and he's the next one up. So we got 4 guys rotating through, and all 4 are working on something instead of having just 1 standing there hitting and 3 standing off to the side doing nothing. They're all engaged, and then you can have a live reads off the bat for your infielders and outfielders where you have base runners incorporated. So what we like to do is if a guy gets in the in there for batting practice and say he's going to get 6 swings, it'll be 2 that are not live, so 2 that infielders are fielding the ball or catchers are catching the flies, and they're going to throw them right off the shag buckets that we have off the foul lines. And then the third one is a live. So if a guy puts the ball in the gap, now we got live base running happening, and they got to field and make a play. And then the batter gets 2 more swings that are not live. Same thing, they're going shag buckets. And then the third swing, which would be his 6th on the round, is live, and now he's part of the running. So he's going to hit and get out of the box. So now you've engaged everybody. You got batters, runners, and defense all going at the same time. You could put a pitcher on the mound if you've got an L screen behind the L screen. So that way if a ball hits the L screen, he can have a ball in his glove, and he can simulate, running over and flipping a ball to first. Or if a ball hits the first baseman, he can run over and cover the bag. And you can rotate pitchers through this as well. So definitely opportunities to kind of engage everybody on the field with the type of live BP session, which I think is high speed too. It gets guys playing fast and being able to handle a lot of things happening at once, which during the game of baseball, sometimes they're going to have to be able to do that too. Again, this is Mike LaRosa, head baseball coach at Widener University. We just spoke about some practice planning options and how to create a really, really good practice. Feel free to check out my next video on hitting and proper setup and good hitting position to be in.